One of the most important websites which you're going to create in your design career is your personal portfolio website. And in this tutorial, we're going to create a portfolio website in Figma, and I'm going to share some advice of getting your dream clients. Now, this is actually a collab video with Brian from Brian Design. He's an amazing developer who's going to code up this project. So feel free to check out the part 2 on his YouTube channel when it's available, if you're interested in the coding aspect of it. Now, I also want to remind you that if you're interested in Figma, I just launched a course explaining all of the basics of Figma all the way to the more advanced features. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in that. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. So let's get started and let's create this portfolio website. So in the link below, you're going to be able to find the source of this Figma file, and as you can see, I already have a few assets going on. So the very first one, which I'm going to copy and paste in the website artboard, is going to be this AI brain, which you're going to see the reason why we're using it in just a moment. So let's get started and let's go ahead and select the desktop version. So we're going to have a mainframe which is 1440 pixels, and we're just going to stretch it all the way down so that we can have a little bit of room in order to create the portfolio website. So I'm also going to open up the keyboard viewer, add it over here so you guys can see each and every keyboard action which I'm going to use. So cool, let's get started by creating a grid over here, and instead of using the traditional grid, we're going to use the columns feature, and we're going to use 12 count columns, and let's add a little bit of margin on the left and on the right side so that we can have a little bit of room on these sides. And the very first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just going to bring all this brain and bring it over here. And I'm also going to change the color of the background to black. This is not going to be the final color, but let's just keep it as it is right now in order to just get the base going. And we're going to add some text, which I already created over here, and let's just add it and let's make it into white. Cool, so we have the text, and what we're gonna do is we're going to shrink it just a little bit. And for this specific portfolio website, we're going to use a font such as, let's try Helvetica. See how that work. Oh, for some reason the fraction got selected, and let's make it bold. And usually when I start a new website project, I kind of like to I like to experiment around with the fonts and really see it and try to find like the best font for that specific project. So okay, cool, I want to make the phrase a little bit smaller, so I'm a UI user experience helps a company reach the next level. I'm actually wondering if making this one just a bit smaller, but usually these headlines should really have a big impact. So let's just keep it like this. I'm going to span all the way across. All right, and I think I changed my mind on the black background. I think let's go with a blue, which is going to be anyways something around the lines that we're gonna use it for the very end product. So yeah, maybe a blue around these lines. And we also want to change up the color of the grids, because I don't want them to interfere too much with the design. So I'm just going to go over here, make them white, and then yeah, maybe let's just keep it at 6% or something light like this, so that we can easily move things around and don't have them interfere too much. All right, so we got the first part of the design. Now let's go ahead and let's create some more details, which It's going to be this one, and we're going to add the name, which is Robert Atkinson, and let's make this smaller. We'll also add this slash. All right, yeah, so way smaller like this, that work. Let's just be sure that this is a rounded number, and yeah, so far so good. And we need some sort of introduction text right here below, and I'm going to add just that. So let's go ahead and let's add it over here. Maybe let's make it regular instead of bold. Let's add some line height. Cool. Maybe I'm going to. Okay, cool. I was looking if there is some ways to make maybe like the text less, to give it less text, because I really want this section to pop up. So user experience designer for AI companies. Let's just give it a try like this. So as you can see, I'm experimenting with the design. I'm doing this live. I haven't created this design before. What I did though is I noted down on a piece of pen and paper what I want to communicate to my potential clients, because that's something which is really important. You want, even before you start designing, you want to have a clear idea what you want to communicate, and how you want to go after it. Because at the end of the day, you can create a beautiful design, but if the communication points are not clear, if the value points are not clear, it's not going to convert. So this is definitely something which is really important. And let's write here years of experience. Just going to select this one, going to write 10 plus, going to make this bold, and let's add just 2 more of these points. So the first one is availability. It's going to be part-time, and let's also link to something useful, which might be, for example, email. Just make an email up. All right, so far so good. So the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're actually going to add some dividers in between these elements, so they're a little bit more divided. If that makes sense. Let's just keep it around these lines. Something around these lines could work. Actually, I think that I want to just center them, and let's actually do one thing. Let's make this like this, and let's just bring all of these so that they are centered. Let's do that also with the emo, and also with these 2 guys, and you're going to see the final effect in just a moment. I think this would potentially work better. All right, cool. So we have almost equal distance between one element and the other. Still, I'm not feeling it 100%. Probably one thing that we're going to go and do is to actually change this section up, but let's do it in just a moment. Actually, let's the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to create a big section right here. Just going to say hello, I'm Rob, and let's add a subheadline. This is the same subheadline, so maybe let's actually change it to this one here, which I already done before. So cool. Let's divide this by 2. Let's remove this one. And I'm going to try a different effect for this one. I'm just going to use a stroke right here, and I'm going to make it quite big actually. So maybe something around these lines could do it. Yep. Cool. So far, so good. And now we want some text below. So I'm just going to duplicate this. And we're also going to leverage one of the assets which we have right here. And this is a great photo. I want to give credit to Craig McKay. I found this photo on unsplash.com, and yeah, I think it suits perfectly for this type of portfolio website. So, all right, let's just add this text right here, and maybe let's use some lorem ipsum. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's do just that. So I'm going to add some lorem ipsum right here, and maybe let's just shrink it this one here, so that we have the main text on the left, some more descriptive text right here, and the photo on the very right. Actually, maybe let's just add a little bit more emphasis to the photo. So as you can see, it's just about trying things out and you know, really trying and see what's working and what's not working. So definitely something to keep in mind. It's all about experimenting and, you know, trying different things and whatnot. So for the next section, we're gonna mix things up just a little bit, and we're going to add some sort of a background. Let's go ahead and make this one black, and we're going to add some services, and let's just bring this one all the way up. Cool. So going to add some services here, and let's bring this one up. Let's bring this one on the very right, and we're going to simply have this text here. Let's bring this one here, and let's add a text above, which is going to be UX consultancy. Yep. Right, it's looking good. Let's make this one bold, and we're going to add some icons on the very left side. So I'm going to group this, duplicate it, another time. web design and mobile apps, websites and web apps. Actually, let's change this one to UX strategy. This sounds better. All right, so let's make this one a little bit smaller. Let's just change up the length of the text just a little bit, and we're going to find some icons to use in order to really make this this section stand out more. And maybe we can also try and add like a second rectangle and adding some sort of like a different color just to make it stand out a little bit more. Yeah, maybe something around these lines. This could potentially work. And at the same time, I'm thinking about this top section, if I really like it, or if I want to make it even more, give it a different style. But we're gonna get there. Let's not rush through things. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead here and use some nuclear icons. So, I'm going to write here strategy. And let's add, I think this one could work pretty well. I'm actually wondering if using the outline icons or the full icons. Let's just try one and see how this one is looking. All right, let's make it full white. Yeah, this is looking pretty cool. So, all right, website. Let's go for something around yeah, maybe something around these lines could work pretty well. All right, let's make it white again. Cool stuff. Now let's add the mobile version. Yeah, maybe so one just a moment ago, and I think we could potentially go with something around these lines, so we have a little bit more, or actually let's go with the full outline version. So let's go right here and let's just bring it, let's make it bigger, and cool. We got also this section right here, so I think we are in a good position, and we might want to have some sort of images on the right. Maybe let's go on Unsplash. So I'm going under plugins and need to move this one here. Unsplash again, and this is going to open up the plugin right inside of Figma. So maybe no, this is too random. It's going to take a while if I'm going with that route. Yeah, this is actually not looking bad. We're going to try a few more things later on, but so far so good. Now another thing that I want to do is to add some sort of dimension to this AI brain over here. So let's go ahead and let's add way more blur to this guy, and maybe let's try and use a color. Yeah, something around these lines could potentially work. Maybe even bigger. I'll experiment with that. maybe actually let's just keep this section smaller. Let's just bring this one up. And the reason being is that I really want this this section to stand out more. Really want to make an impact when the user arrives on the website. They're like, whoa, what's that? So let's make these elements smaller and just a touch more early height. Cool. All right, so far so good. This section also is looking pretty interesting. Let's bring this below, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add the email address also. Oops, I'm going to just copy and paste this here, and we're going to have the email again in this section, so that we're not just having this section for no reason whatsoever. It's going to be the email. Cool. We also need a email icon. So we're going to go with probably this one here. This will do. All right. Cool. So this is looking pretty cool. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to add some portfolio items below. So let's go ahead, let's duplicate this, I'll rename it to portfolio. And we're going to add a few of these guys right here and see how we can basically come up with a solution that showcases these portfolio items in a good way. So maybe we're going to have one major item, some text on the right describing it. Maybe below we can have like a few thumbnails showing the other portfolio items. So this could actually work pretty well. Actually, I'm not too fond in having these different sizes, so I'm just gonna go over here. Cool. I think we solved this temporary issue, and we're we're good to go. Cool. So the very next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to add some text on the right. Web app for company XYZ. Let's make this one smaller. Oops. To select all of it. Cool. And now we're just going to copy the lorem ipsum text right here. And we pretty much got this one. So I'm also going to make these guys bigger since they need to fit in the center. Also this one here. And I'm probably going to just change up the position of the phone. For some reason I'm not really feeling it. Cool, now it's looking much better. Let's add some arrows in the mix. And we're good to go. Let's make this white. Cool, so far so good. Let's make this one bigger. Let's have a call to action to see more. All right, good stuff. So this overall is looking pretty nice, and yeah, I think we're totally going in a good direction. So let's move on to the very last part, which is going to be the footer. So let's add a rectangle right here, and let's make it black again, or actually instead of black, maybe let's go for a darker blue tint or even white. We can actually figure it out on the go. And what we're gonna do is we're going to just copy these elements right here, going to add a few pages. So we're going to have the about, we're going to have the services, the portfolio, and the contacts. Cool, so let's just keep these this footer quite minimal. It's going to add this one here, and this one here. And we're going to also mention the name, Robert Atkinson's, and some copyright text. Over here. Cool stuff. But even before the footer, I actually changed my mind, and we're going to add a contact us section, since it's really important, and we want to really nail that section right there. I'm actually wondering if we could try and add the same style for the portfolio as we did above. Maybe that could look pretty cool. Yeah, let's just keep it at that, just to add some more visual interest. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to add the contact me section. We're going to have the email as we have it above. Just going to bring it here and have it right here. So yeah, something a little bit different compared to what you usually see around. But yeah, I think this could work. I'm actually wondering if maybe let's change the email flow. So this one is coming from the right, this one is coming from the left. So we have a little bit of variety. Cool. So far, so good. Now let's go ahead and let's remove the layout grid, or let's just not make it visible so we can see the design entirely. And yeah, I mean, I think this is looking pretty cool, pretty fresh. We have some portfolio items. You can browse through the portfolio. You can see more on that specific portfolio. We have a little bit of a differentiation here, and a contact me section with the bottom footer. Cool. Overall, I think this is looking pretty good. And now we're going to just go ahead and finish it up by, well, first of all, I'm going to change the background since it's going to look a little bit cooler. And another thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to just go ahead and group all of the elements and clean all of the layers. So let's do all of that right now. And let's just rename this to name. I'm going to bring it to the top. Oops. All the way up. Cool. Now we also have the top sections. This is the eye brain. We have this, and let's rename these lines. Here's plus availability plus email. This is going to be grouped all in one top section. It's going to be the head. Then we're going to have the about section. Over here we have the 3 icons, and let's rename this to 2. It's going to be 1. This is going to be 3. Have MacBook services, and yeah, cool. Email CTA. We're going to, or actually, I wanted to include also the rectangle. So let's just do that. And let's do the same over here. Email CTA. Perfect. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to remind you that you can find the source file for free in the link either in the comments or in the description. And on my YouTube channel, I have over 300 videos on UI UX design, both the freelance aspect of it and also software tutorials just like this one. And I myself have been a UI UX designer for over 8 years now, so I definitely have a lot of experience, and I share it all for free on this YouTube channel. So again, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This is going to be the portfolio carousel, and all of this section together is the portfolio section. Cool. And as we were noticing, this portfolio section was outside of the frame, so let's just bring it inside. Really easy, just group all of this, bring it outside, bring it inside. Once you see the lines highlighted, you're basically inside the frame. Cool. So let's have also this last section, or the almost last section. contact CTA, and over here going to have the footer. Cool. So let's just reorder these guys. First of all, have the head, then we have the about section, and the third one is the services, not the portfolio. Then we have the portfolio, which is the fourth one. Then we have the contact CTA, and then we have the footer. Cool stuff. All right, so we just managed to create our portfolio website. So as you can see, we have the base going. If you guys want to maybe like try and mix things up, you can rearrange the order of some of these items. Like for each and every one of these sections, there's multiple and many ways that you can actually go after it. So